I want to invite you on a journey down a rabbit hole, and stay with me here. First, let's consider one of the main goals of Tyler Durden's Fight Club. That goal being reconnecting men with their primal instincts. Tyler believes that modern society has emasculated men by suppressing their primal instincts and reducing them to mere passive consumers. Through Fight Club, he aims to reconnect men with these primal instincts, like aggression and the propensity to fight, as a means of reclaiming and adhering to these masculine instincts. But on the other hand, couldn't it be argued that a functioning society is actually built off of human beings acting contrary to their nature? In fact, isn't that what it means to be human in the first place? Animals act only in accordance with their nature. Human beings have choice and free will. If human beings acted only in accordance with their natural inclinations, we would have all-out conflict, violence, and mayhem. How many times has your reptilian brainstem fed you a thought that you knew was wrong? If you and everyone around you acted on these thoughts every time, violence, murder, theft, and rape would run rampant. Virtually all of our institutions rely on this mutual cooperation and trust, and in one way or another, that means a suppression of our instincts. But why do we act contrary to our nature? Why do we restrain ourselves? Are we just cowards? Too scared to murder, steal, and rape? Fyodor Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment examines this exact question. His main character, Raskolnikov, contends that the only thing holding human beings back from even justified wrongdoings is cowardice. After committing what he believes to be a justified murder, Raskolnikov finds out that, cowardice aside, he can no longer live in the world anymore because of his conscience, and he turns himself in. Thus, we restrain ourselves, we act contradictory to our nature because we have a conscience. Now let's go even deeper down the rabbit hole. What is our conscience? Many believe that the human conscience is actually the authentic voice of God guiding us toward moral behavior. But is our conscience actually the authentic voice of God? Or could it just be a result of societal conditioning? Since we were young, we have hopefully been conditioned on a sense of right and wrong via parenting, school, and through observing the world around us. When it comes down to it, I think we act contrary to our nature because we want to live, we want to be peaceful. The philosopher Aristotle correctly pointed out that in all places, human beings by their nature have a proclivity to make rules, laws, and customs. Wherever we are, we crave order and create structure. The idea that human life can be free of moral concerns is a mere fantasy. Now, Aristotle's quote aside, don't get me wrong, the world is not sunshine and rainbows. Tyler correctly points out that a lot of the world's quote-unquote progress was built on the backs of sacrifice, pain, and slavery. In our current world, there is war, starvation, and death, and we human beings by nature are imperfect, flawed sinners. There's a religion which contends that a man died on a cross for us so that these sins may actually be forgiven. A father who commanded us not to kill, steal, or rape. Now, speaking of fathers, Fight Club has a bone to pick with fathers and the father of Christianity, God. The book often criticizes God, and several times the book reiterates this interesting notion.
Our fathers were models for God. If our fathers bailed, what does that tell you about God?
Let me be clear. I'm not a devout Bible-thumping Christian, but here's my issue with this quote. Who said your father is a model for God? Your father is a human being, flawed and imperfect, just like you. You may have been seriously wronged by your father. Maybe you didn't have such a great childhood. Maybe, like the narrator, your father bailed. If your father bailed, you might think of yourself as worthless. You might steer towards self-destruction. You may think that you are not special, that you are not a unique snowflake made in the image of God. You might think you are the same decaying matter as everything else. If you have a hole in your heart the size of God, if you're missing a father, you will spend your entire life criticizing God, but simultaneously searching for your God. You might even look up to a charismatic leader who acts like God. Perhaps, though, our actions do matter. Perhaps we are worth taking care of. Perhaps we are not here by accident. Perhaps this life is a test. Perhaps, in the deepest part of our psyche, we all want to be judged. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.